Our last lightning talk for the day, we've got the Department of Managed Healthcare Services, which will share a recent success story that leveraged CDT's Technology Modernization Fund to achieve digital transformation and quick delivery of business capabilities. I've got a bunch more, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say it. So here we've got the CIO for DMHC, Ralph Cesena.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I'll give you a little bit of background on me. My name's Ralph Cesena Jr. I am the CIO at DMHC, Department of Managed Healthcare. I've been in state service not quite 7 years, coming up on 7 years, and I spent about 30 years before that in the private sector doing corporate, manufacturing, travel, consulting in government. And during my time consulting in government, I met someone named Scott Chrisman, who is responsible for my standing here today. So. I didn't see Scott here today, but I did see Ryan. So I want to tell you a little bit about DMHC's mission. We have a two-pronged mission. One is to protect consumers' healthcare rights. And one of the offices we have is plan monitoring that kind of focus on that area, which is health quality surveys, behavioral health surveys, and really focused on the quality of care that health plans are providing. And the second piece is ensuring a stable healthcare delivery system, and that speaks to finance. And so we do financial examinations of health plans and risk-bearing organizations that they contract with to make sure they're financially viable and that they can continue to provide services in the healthcare system. Those will be key as I kind of go through our success story here. So we put in a pitch with CDT's TMF, we call it, Technology Modernization Fund, and they accepted our pitch. We had to go through some machinations to get it over the hump, but at the end of the day, they accepted our project. And what we did is we decided to build a scheduling application for financial examinations and health quality surveys. That was a process that we managed in multiple spreadsheets. So the business problems, scheduling conflicts was one of the biggest. If one unit scheduled an exam with a health plan and a survey at the same time, well, whichever one started last, when they finally found out about it, would have to start over again, meaning you had to submit all the documents again, and it really caused a lot of delays and made it difficult for that unit then to meet their statutory requirement to do these surveys or exams. Some of the other things, time-consuming manual processes because of the Excel documents, human error in data entry, no structured data for a single version of truth, which is very important for reporting and analytics, inability to effectively prepare for upcoming events. We call surveys and exams events. So what happened next? We were asked to do a journey mapping and discovery exercise. CDT said that's the next step, so we did, and we learned a lot in the process. The journey mapping team really worked with our staff to learn about our process, but they also met with the plans, for health plans, to figure out the health plan perspective and what their experience was like, so that when we develop a solution that they interact with, it will meet their needs as well. Some of the key recommendations that came out of that was leveraging an MVP approach. So we pitched a scheduling system and a management system to manage those surveys and exams to completion. But what came out of discovery was pump the brakes a little and just focus on the scheduling. So that's what we did. We agreed to implement within a hybrid waterfall agile methodology. We call it WAGILE in our organization. Which we do already. So we were totally amenable to that so we could iterate to make sure we include health plans and RBOs and their perspective, and to create a feature phase backlog for the functionality we weren't going to do in the MVP phase. So let's just imagine for a moment, how much more could you get done if that thing you always have said all through your career, I wish I could clone myself, or I wish I could clone my best team? What if you could? What if technology could provide you the capability to achieve that cloning, so to speak? We do that through force multiplication with these low-code technologies. So a force multiplying technology or system can enhance the capabilities of people, allow them to achieve more with the resources they already have, which means one person can do X times more work with the technology. So this is what our implementation looked like. One of TMF's requirements is that you finish the project within a year. So we started July 3rd, 2023, ended July 2nd, 2024. So we used all the time and all the money. We spent 8 weeks doing requirements and user story iterations. We spent 18 weeks on architecture and design. Now, that seems like a lot, but we did that because low-code platforms you'll achieve velocity as you build more applications if you take the time to do the architecture and build the common components out so they can be used by other applications that you build in the future. So we took the time to make sure and do that, to modularize the application so that we can leverage those modules later. We spent 24 weeks iterating through development sprints and 2 weeks for UAT training, knowledge transfer, all the stuff that you do at the end. And this is what the sprint schedule looked like. 14 weeks of sprinting, and we did over-deliver on this project. So you'll notice at week number 12, there's a dip. That's when we finished the MVP requirements, and we said, hey, we got 2 weeks left. So what else is important for us to get done out of the backlog? And that's what we did in the final 2 sprints. So we over-delivered. So the outcome was we reduced the development time from 110 weeks if we were to do this in .NET to 24 weeks using low-code, no-code technology. The blue bar is what we figured it would take us to do this in a traditional software development methodology, and the green is what it actually took us. What does that mean? 458% increase in developer productivity, and the force multiplication that we realized was one developer did the work of 4.58 traditional developers. So that's kind of important if you want to achieve IT at the speed of need. So Adam's probably heard my little, I have a saying I'll get to in a minute. I say it all the time. So we realized many scheduling efficiencies during this project. I actually surveyed the users this week, and these were some of the things that they came up with. And I won't go through every single one of them, but when this video comes out, or you take a picture, you can go through them. Some of the key ones were that we eliminated scheduling conflicts. So we brought all of the survey and exam types into a single consolidated scheduling solution, so that when you sit down to go schedule something with a health plan, you can already see all the other activities across our department for that health plan and avoid that conflict that we talked about that causes delays in the process. That was one of the big wins that we got, plus many others. Some of the workload stuff, balancing staff workloads across surveys and exams, avoiding assignment of staff into conflicting roles. So some people play different roles, and in an exam they might conflict with a role they're playing somewhere else, and other things. I think one of the last points here is data that represents a single version of the truth. So now our scheduling data is in a structured database that we can have dashboards and reports on top of. And then Chris, who's one of our staff services managers, said it best, I thought. He said, once we're able to transition away from the rest of our manual processes, and we're almost there, we will realize even more efficiencies. So some of the concepts around this are low code versus no code versus something I call go code. I made that up. Code is developers authoring and debugging code like they do traditionally. Low code, they use graphical user interfaces to configure but not write much code. No code is the same thing, but writing absolutely no code. And the last one, what I call go code, potentially leverages AI to generate applications from just natural language prompts. So that is the future. When I first came to the DMHC and started talking about low code, I told our developers, they kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, honestly, you can embrace this now and get on the front of the wave, or you can try chasing the wave later. And that kind of changed the mindset. We did a kind of hands-on app in a day workshop so they could see this technology in action. And it really changed everybody's mind. And all of those developers are still with us today. So, IT at the speed of need. Coding, the IT velocity lags business velocity. I think we're all there today. The business moves much faster than we're able to move in IT. In low code, we can accelerate the IT velocity a bit, but we still aren't catching up to business. In no code, we can increase that velocity even more, but we still can't catch up to business. The promise of the future might be that AI helps us catch up with business and operate at that speed of business. Now, these are a couple examples from OutSystems, who is our low-code platform partner, of some success that their customers have had. The two key ones for me are Humana, 4 times faster delivery, and Park Industries achieved 10 times faster delivery. And I think there's some challenges to low code for sure. It requires organizational change management because development teams can move so much faster now. So program has to keep up with you during a project. I think enterprise architecture at IT velocity. So that also means enterprise architecture has to keep up with the pace of developing applications, because if they don't, you end up with an application that doesn't fit well into your enterprise architecture. Reskilling the workforce. So we have to train people to use these new tools. Even though they look simple, you still have to reskill the workforce. There's governance required at many levels: data, application, project management, lots of other things that has to change. And then customization could be a challenge depending on the platform you choose. We chose OutSystems. One of the reasons we did is our 65 legacy applications are all custom-built .NET applications. Our users are accustomed to saying, I want a blue dot here and it needs to turn green every other Tuesday, right? We can do that with OutSystems. The promise of adopting low-code, no-code technologies: you can accelerate your development cycles, faster, agile, cost benefit, and a better value proposition for the business, a simplified development process that moves much faster, software engineering flexibility and collaboration with business. So your business partners are sitting next to you during the development cycle. And then the last thing is the force multiplication, which is my personal goal, right? I can't just go put in a BCP and ask for 20 more software developers. I'm probably not going to get them. But if I could get my developers today to be able to do 5 times as much work with new technology, I can get where I want to go quickly. And my little catchphrase is, we want to implement capabilities at the speed of need, not with the need for speed. And lastly, what are our intentions going forward? Number 1, continue to build in this technology. Number 2, use this technology to help us accelerate reduction of our technical debt and modernization. Number 3, reskilling our workforce in these new platforms. And lastly, to share lessons learned and success stories with people like you. And my last slide, I want to thank CDT, Technology Modernization Fund. I know Ron Robinette was here. I don't know if he's still here, but Ron was involved with us at the time. So thank you for sponsoring this project and paying for it. OutSystems, Alex in the back, our account manager and partner. And OutSystems has truly been a partner with us in this endeavor. Not just, well, we want to sell you something, but they want to see us be successful. And then Slalom, who was our implementation partner and equally part of this project. So if you have any questions, anyone would like to see a demo sometime, just look me up. I know you all have the tech ability to do that. So I thank you for your time and thanks for staying. You're all the hardcore technologists here. So.